and welcome to today's poetry lesson. Today we are going to be learning how to write Diamante or Diamante poems. Let's have a look at what they are. So, what is a Diamante poem? A Diamante poem is a poem that does not rhyme and has 7 lines. The first and the last lines are the shortest, while the lines in the middle are longer, making it have a diamond shape. That might be a little bit confusing, but we'll go through it more. So, here is a Diamante example, as well as all the things we need to include when we're writing a Diamante poem. Firstly, Diamantes are 7 lines long. The first and last lines have just 1 word, the second and 6th line have 2 words, the third and 5th lines have 3 words, and the 4th line has 4 words. So, looking at an example, you might be wondering, why is there just some of the same words written over and over again? That's because when we are writing these poems, we use different language features for the different lines. The first line is 1 noun, then we have 2 adjectives, then we have 3 verbs, then we have 4 nouns, then we have 3 verbs, then we have 2 adjectives, and then to end it all off, we have a noun. Whew, that's a lot to remember. If you need to, I've got links below that go over and describe what adjectives, nouns, and verbs are, just for a little refresher. So, there are 2 types of Diamante poems, a synonym and an antonym Diamante poem. A synonym means 2 different words that mean the same thing. Now an antonym means 2 words that mean opposite things. So synonyms are when 2 words mean the same thing, but they are different words. And antonyms are when they are 2 words, but they mean the opposite from each other. I hope you're hanging along with this because you're going to be able to write some amazing poems after this. So here is an example of a synonym Diamante poem. So where the 2 words or the 2 ideas mean the same thing. This one is all about my favorite animal, a cat. Let's have a read together. Cat. Playful, naughty. Cuddling, hunting, biting. Treats, wool, toys, laser. Meowing, sleeping, nuzzling. Soft, curious, kitty. Okay, let's have a look at my Synonym Diamante poem example. And I've written down the sides which type of words we need to use for each line. So my first line is cat, which is a noun. My second line has 2 words, which are 2 adjectives. So I chose 2 words that describe cats, which is playful and naughty. My third line are verbs. So I chose things that cats do. So that's cuddling, hunting, and biting. My middle line are 4 nouns. So I chose 4 nouns that are to do with cats. Treats, wool, because they like to play with wool, toys, and laser, because they love to try and find those little laser lights. Then my 5th line, I chose 3 verbs that cats like to do. I've got meowing, sleeping, and nuzzling. Then my 6th line, I chose 2 adjectives to describe the cat, which is soft and curious. And then my last line, which is a noun, I had to choose a synonym that matched the first word. My first word was cat, so a synonym for cat is kitty. Alright, I hope this is making a bit more sense. So that is my synonym example. Now we can have a look at what type of synonyms you could use when you're writing your Diamante poems. This is some planning that you can do to make sure that you are coming up with words that are different words, but they mean the same thing. So, when writing a Diamante synonym poem, we can make a chart with words that mean the same thing. So we've got 2 words, warmth and heat, which mean the same thing. We've got 2 words, cold and freezing, which are synonyms because they mean the same thing, but they're different words. We've got walking and strolling, Again, they mean the same thing, but they're different words. And we've got eating and chewing. So you could fill up a whole page of words, of synonyms that are 2 different words, or 3 different words, or 4 different words, or more that all mean the same thing. If you do that, that's going to be really helpful when you write your Synonym Diamante poem. We did synonyms, now let's do antonyms. And if you remember, antonyms are 2 words that mean the opposite thing. So our antonym Diamante poem are talking about opposite things. When I read it out, you might be able to see that halfway through, the idea of the poem changes. So I'm going to read it out and see if you can spot when it changes. Summer, sweltering, golden. Swimming, sailing, burning. Beach, sunblock, gloves, scarf, snoozing, snuggling, shivering, cool, frosty, winter. Alright, as you can see, I chose 2 different seasons to talk about, and the ones that are the most opposite to each other are summer and winter. Hopefully you spotted where it changes. Right there in the middle, after sunblock, it starts talking about gloves. Thinking, I'm not wearing gloves in summer, so that must be where it changes. So I'm going to go through the antonym example and show you what I've done on each step. For the first one, I have my noun, which is summer. My second one, I have 2 adjectives to describe summer, which are sweltering and golden. Then I have 3 verbs that maybe I would do in summer, which is swimming, sailing, burning. Then in the middle, I have 4 nouns. 2 of them are for summer, 2 of them are for winter. I've got beach, sunblock, gloves, scarf. Then the next line, I have 3 verbs of what I would be doing in winter, which is snoozing, snuggling, and shivering. Then I have 2 adjectives that I can use to describe winter, which are cool and frosty. And then I end with an antonym to summer, which is my noun of winter. It's taking a lot of explaining, but I know that you guys are following along, and this is going to help you to write the perfect Diamante poem. Right, when we're doing our antonym planning for our antonym Diamante poem, you can do another chart or another list writing words that are the opposite to each other, just like this one here. We've got hot and cold, day and night, close and distant, energetic and tired. I'm sure you could fill up a whole page of words that are opposites to each other. Okay, now we need to think, because you're about to start writing, but what could we write our Diamante poems about? The possibilities are endless. Here are some suggestions. You could write about seasons, like I did, animals, like I did, people, nature, countries, your school, your home. And when I'm talking about people, you could write about your friends or your family. All right, now is your time to write your own Diamante poems. You can go back in the video to make sure that you're following all of the instructions, or you can just pause the video here when I show up the screen of all the things that you need to include. So make sure that you're following these guidelines, and remember to use the examples because they're really helpful when we're starting to write our own poems. Right, down below you can find some other links if you're wanting some more help with these types of poems. I've got some other poem writing lessons and some other writing lessons and lots of other lessons on the Touring Teacher YouTube page. So make sure you have a look at those as well to help with your distance learning or learning from home. And I'll see you soon.